I think one of the most egregious things you can do in board gaming is rush someone to make a decision. And for all of the crap that I have given Ollie, I also am insufferable when it comes to the length of my time, especially when I'm learning a game. And so much of board games is actually understanding your relationship with learning and meaning making, in my opinion. Every time I think through a choice, every time I think through a move, if I do not have the full time that I need in order to make that decision, it's like poking a hole in the bottom of a bucket where meaning is slowly dripping out. Because if you just tell me I need to make my move and I don't feel like I have any level of understanding on why I'm making that move, it doesn't actually feel like I'm playing the game. Other things that I know Ollie has mentioned kind of make a game feel meaningless to him is low player interaction. And I have a lot of thoughts about low player interaction, emotional labor, and why I enjoy different types of games. But I also think that our taste profile in board games is very interlinked with what we find meaningful and stimulating and enjoyable. And so I'm really curious about your perspective, because as much as I love talking about the next game that should make it to your table, and that's what I'm setting up for now, I also really love having the underlying conversations about what we're learning about ourselves and each other at the table too. Because I think who you're playing with is just as important as what you're playing. Months ago, I would have told you that I don't like high conflict or combative games. In fact, I'm literally on the record saying these things. But as I have dug into that further and I've realized that I just don't like high conflict games with people that I feel like I have to emotionally manage, so many more new things, so many more games I would have probably written off have become available to me. And so I think that the reflection process is extremely meaningful. That's why I love creating content on the topic, because the reflection process matters to me. And I love joining other people in that reflection and meaning making process. So I'm curious about your perspective. What makes a game meaningful to you? What takes away from that meaning? I'd love your perspective because I'd love to learn from you. And I think there's just so much we can learn from how we play and so much we can learn about others from how they play too.